So I came here, asked you to ask me questions, and within 10 minutes I had so many comments. I had to close that so that I first of all work on the questions, and then I open it up for now the following week. I have so many of them here, but I'm going to answer all of them. Anyway, ignore the background noise. I'm somewhere which is a little bit noisy, but just try to bear with me. So what I did is, after posting this, I closed that and then I started working on that. I didn't get enough time. I've been busy this week, so I decided today's on a Saturday, I'm free, so I'll record. If I'm not able to upload it today, then I'll upload this now tomorrow, which is on Sunday. Now, and we're trying to make this like a regular thing. Every Saturday, he comes here to answer the questions that I've been getting in the comment region. Or if I just post a question and then you ask the question, okay, if I post a question asking you to ask me questions and then you ask me the questions, then I'll come here and then answer them. Now we go directly there. And we start with the first one. Okay, actually don't understand why Facebook usually categorize the comments based on how we have most relevant. How does it actually know whether it's relevant to me or not? Anyway, I just want to see all the comments. And the first one is, do heal spas heal completely? Yes, they do. I'll try to put a photo here for those who don't know what this is. They can, but then you'll have to know exactly what caused this in the first place, because sometimes it can be you are overweight, or maybe the kind of shoes that you are wearing having, or they are not absorbing a lot of pressure. So when that happens, you're exerting a lot of pressure on your calcaneus, which is the heel, and this is one of the things that usually cause you to have that. So many things. Walking on hard surfaces, wearing very uncomfortable shoes is still the same. Carrying a lot of weight is still the same. So you'll have to know that for you to fix that and also avoid what caused it in the first place. Now the second one, what test do I need to take to know the cause of hyperthyroid? Now this one is a little bit tricky. First of all, you can know when you have an issue with your thyroid by just getting the tests. Actually, I've talked about this in a video on my YouTube. I think you can just go there and get some more information. But getting to know the actual cause can be tricky because you have several causes. And it can be, for example, you are taking a lot of seaweed and then you're getting a lot of iodine, or maybe you're eating food containing a lot of iodine in you, and this is affecting your thyroid. We have diseases and conditions like we have Addison, we have Cushing's. They are syndromes that will affect your thyroid. I'll try to make videos concerning individual causes so that you get to understand them better, because this will take really long. Now the other question, objects moving all over the body, especially after shower, what's the cause? Now it will depend. Are you having itch after the shower, which is something that we've already talked about, and I have a video on, okay, actually not one, I have several videos on the same. But if you are not having an itch, you're just feeling like there is something like an insect walking on your skin, that one is a little bit interesting, because your brains can be having a type of hallucination where it feels or thinks, or it misinterprets the signal and thinks that there's something walking on your, like an insect walking on your skin. Now this one can be a neurological issue, it can be a brain issue, it can be, for example, the drug that you're using. We have a lot of drugs out there which will affect your nerves. We also have deficiencies, like for example, vitamin B9, which is folate. We have vitamin B12. Make sure you have enough of them before you now start looking the neurological pathway. What causes rashes on the private parts in women? How can they be eliminated? Most of them usually are caused by a fungal element called Candida. Others are caused by just viruses like HSV. The best thing I would say is it's good to see a doctor so that they get to see it physically and get to know that, because they're usually different. And depending on the frequencies, like for example, if they usually disappear and then come back, disappear and then come back, maybe they have pus inside. Those are the clues that you can use to tell whether this is a viral infection or a bacterial infection, or it's fungal infection. Because if you're having, if it's HSV, there's a drug like this one called acecrovir, which you can use to just apply on them and they will just go. This is for external use only, so you cannot use this inside your vagina. But if it's on the skin, you can use this. But then this is for the viral infections only. And how do you know? Go see a doctor and they can be able to tell you exactly what's causing that. Nikinyoa ndevu zinafura na kuwasha for a long time, shida inaweza kuwa nini? Just train them. It becomes easier. And actually we've talked about this when I'm covering things like what do you call them, the keloids that usually get the folliculitis that you get after shaving. We've really talked about that, so just try to trim them. It becomes easier for them. If you clean shave, then you introduce an issue, especially if you have that coiling hair, which usually grow back to the skin and then pierce the skin. Yeah. Apparently, death rates due to blood clots in the major body organs like heart and brains are rampant. Kindly advise on what causes it and the possible remedies. Now, this is a huge topic. We cannot be able to completely talk about it in a single video. This one will have to wait a little bit, but then let me give you like some skeletons. There are several causes of clots in the body. We have chronic inflammation, we have diabetes mellitus, we have high blood pressure, we have cholesterol, we have obesity, we have, especially in women, we have estrogen, and we also even have a speculation around the COVID vaccine. So many things around that. When you go to something like, for example, estrogen in women, you see one of them, when you're getting that family planning that contains estrogen, one of them warning or one of the things that you're made aware of is it can cause DVT, and DVT is just the same here. There's a formation of a clot. It can contribute to getting them. It doesn't mean that once you start taking anything family planning that contains estrogen, you're going to get the clots, but it's a possibility. So I use or an increase in the use of the family planning pills to give you estrogen because of the awareness you already have by now, because most people are actually taking family planning methods to control birth, can be a contributor. This is just only one thing. This is not like the actual cause of all the clots that you're seeing out there, but it's a good place to start. We have so many things. Plus, we have the diabetes mellitus, and this is something that is so common due to the lifestyle. Overweight, the same thing. What causes eczema in adults? Now, we've talked about eczema in a video on my YouTube channel, and also I've talked about psoriasis. So in case maybe you ask any question around psoriasis and also eczema, there's a video on YouTube. It contains a lot of very valuable information, so I think you can just go and watch it. What are the signs of menopause? I'm 45 years old. This one is a little bit easy, actually. You can certainly you Google. There's so many symptoms that can overlap with other things, but mostly the symptoms you're going to get, most of them are going to be attributed to by you having less estrogen, which is what usually happens when you get to menopause. We have so many signs, like for example, hot flashes, we have vaginal dryness, we have skin dryness, we have painful you get painful sex, and also mood changes within like an instant. So many things usually happen. I think the best thing is just Google, please. I have a problem in those who treat infertility. Why hide the medical bills at 400k? Now, there's one thing you need to understand, that they usually differ. The intervention, like for example, if it's going to be surgical, then you're going to need a theater, you're going to need a specialist, you're going to need a surgeon. In that case, maybe the surgeon is the specialist. You have nurses around you, they're all on a payroll, so you're going to pay them. It will even depend with the type of medication that you're going to use. Do we have that? And for you to even understand, we have so many drugs that we have no active research on, so we depend on other people. And actually, if you go down to the comments, there is someone, Lynette, who's giving us a very good perspective, which I would take. Now, am I a good proponent of anything medical being expensive? No. Medical interventions are usually very expensive, and they are it's a primary thing. So if we can get a way of making it cheaper for everyone to be able to access, I think that's the best thing that we can be offering to humankind. But unfortunately, the research is very expensive, and whoever is giving you the drug that is working on something, that person might decide to charge a lot so that they get to recoup whatever they used in the research. And plus, we have a huge business around this. We have private facility, we have public facilities which are subsidized. When you go to the private facilities, like for example, you have to pay for each and everything. But for example, you go to the public, we have so many things which are subsidized. This is a huge topic. I think I cannot be able to comprehensively unless I get a context. Like for example, you're having an issue with your sperms and how do you eat, or maybe when you go to consult on how to increase the number. I think when I get a context on that, it can be a little bit granular for me to comment on. Please, treatment for hormonal imbalances. We've talked about this so many times. Go to my channel or even on TikTok, or even you can scroll down on the videos on here on Facebook. I think you're going to get a lot of information on hormonal imbalances because you have so many causes. Can be fibroids, can be PCOS, can be you being overweight, can be you taking family planning pills, can be a place that you moved. There's so many, even food, so many causes. So I think granulating that can be a little bit more helpful. How can a person with irregular periods calculate ovulation, and how does morning after affect fertility? I need to know. Thank you, with love from Zambia. Hey, Zambia. Now, several things you need to understand. Irregular periods, usually it's very hard to calculate anything because they usually differ. You might find that you're missing your period after maybe, let's say, it comes back after a month or two. We have those that will miss that for 6 months, others for even a full year, others for even 3 years. So it's usually very hard to calculate. But one thing I usually tell people, just try to know when ovulation is happening, and the best thing to know is to know the signs of ovulation, which I think I've made a video about. You can just go check that on YouTube. You can even look for other videos. Get to know the ovulation signs, because that's a little bit better compared to calculating the ovulation. It becomes very hard for you to calculate something that you're not able to predict. Now, for the morning after morning after effect, for the morning after pill, this one, it's an emergency pill only, so you need to only take this when you really need to. It's not something that you need to take on a regular basis because it affects you negatively. You need to take to make sure that you don't take as many of them in a year as possible. Emergency pills are actually there for a reason, so you should not take them regularly. You should take them only when it's an emergency. Only you take them for long, then they start having negative effects on your body, and this affects your fertility. So just stop misusing them. They're there for emergency purpose only. You can just make sure that you use other methods which are safer and better than using these ones. So you're still having ovulation pain and you're close to 40, or maybe you're 40. Now, by this time, you're close to getting to your menopause and it should go. But we've talked about the pain that usually come as a result of you having ovulation, and we've talked about so many causes of them and how maybe you can be able to mitigate them. I have a video on that. I have so many videos on the same on my TikTok. Also, I think I have them here on Facebook. I'm not sure, but if not, then just go to my YouTube. You'll find that. I had acute pain that felt like appendicitis. I was told it was a fibroid dying. Okay, that's interesting. What's this? What causes it? And why don't they all die and one become free? That's in advance. Now, I've talked about fibroids. I think I have 2 videos here on YouTube. Just go and check them. You'll get to know what fibroids are, their types, and how you can be able to mitigate them. But this one is new, unless you had an imaging and they saw regression or the reduction in size of the fibroids. This hard for anyone to tell whether it was that. So imaging will be better than someone just telling it's something dying in the body. I'm skeptical about that one. Maybe you can, maybe whoever was telling you, or maybe someone with more information, you can tell us whether this is actually true. Sudden feeling of nausea, weakness, and some light headache. This is so general. It's very hard for me to pinpoint to this unless I sit down and make a video that will give you all possible things that can give you nausea, light headaches, weaknesses. But the best thing for you to do is to go see a doctor so that they get to have enough time with you and narrow down, because this one is actually not going to make a lot of sense to you. Anyway, go to the next one. How do ketone bodies come about? They come about when you are starving. So this is what usually happens. You eat food that contains carbohydrates, you get sugar. This is what your body uses. You get excess of that sugar, it's converted to fat, which is stored, awaiting that time when you don't have that in food. Like, for example, you are starving, you don't have food. So what happens is you break down the fat that you have already stored. So this is a store in case of starvation. So when you're breaking down the fat, that's when you get the ketones. What causes legs to get uncomfortable heat from the heel to the toes down? I have to step on the floor to get cold and a bit comfortable. This is something that's very common, and I have a video on this actually. I've not made a video about this yet, so I think you should just stay around. I make a comprehensive video on this one because we have some very interesting solutions that you can just apply. What causes nose bleeding? This is called epistaxis. Now, this one can be caused by several things. One, one thing you have to know that you don't actually need to worry about this. Your nose contains a lot of blood vessels that usually help in warming up the air going to your lungs. So they are very close, the vessels that contain blood. They're very close to the skin inside your nose, so it's very easy for them to get injured. Like for example, the air around you is so dry, so you end up drying up that area. It becomes very cracky. So it becomes very easy for you to crack that area, and once you do that, then you're going to break the blood vessels. We have other conditions, like for example, you poking the nose, having allergies, having diseases that will affect you inside there. They can break that tiny wall that is there and end up having you nose bleeding. We have other, let's say, a little bit more serious conditions, like for example, you have an issue with blood thinning. Your body is not able to clot the blood easily, so it's a contributor. We have high blood pressure. We also have medications that will help in thinning the blood. They can also make you to nose bleed. The best thing for you to do is to not worry about it, because most of them usually disappear. It's common. At one point in your life, you'll get a nosebleed. But if they are regular, I think that's the time when you should see a doctor. I've had a series of headaches for 3 weeks now. X-ray shows I'm clean. I'm on a painkiller now. What might be the issue? Now, one thing, and this is the reason I usually don't like headaches, is it can be a sign of something underlying which is totally unrelated to the stomach. Like for example, you'll be having an issue with your HB, your blood, the red blood cells, you end up having that headache. Maybe you have high blood pressure, you end up having the headache. Maybe you have an issue with your stomach, you end up having the issue with your head. So it points, mostly it's a pointer to something underlying, which is usually very hard to determine unless I sit down with you and get every bit of information from you, which is what you're going to benefit once you see a doctor who will spend more time with you to crack everything up. Does high sugar bring about muscle pull? Muscle pull can be caused by several things. We have your muscles not being instructed properly by your nerves, so it can be an issue with the nerves. It can be that the sugar that you're taking, if it's high in the body and you have something like diabetes, it's affecting your nerves, so it can be a possibility. Also, we have other causes that, for example, you have electrolytes that are not enough in the body. You know, electrolytes are very important when it comes to the nerve conduction and instruction, and one of the things that you instruct your muscles is the nerves. If it's affected, then you get to have this. Also, I'm sure you've noticed, you go to the gym and you lift so heavy equipment and so many, or maybe you do strenuous activities and you end up having muscle pull. Or maybe you are running, maybe it's 100 meters race, or maybe it's a marathon. Because of you breaking down the sugar that you have to provide energy in presence of less oxygen, you end up building something that we call lactic acid, and this is what usually disrupt the coordination of the muscle. You end up having muscle pull. So the best thing for you to do is, first of all, if you have sugar in the body, get rid of it. Make sure you have normal blood sugar. We have so many mechanisms of doing that. So first of all, manage your sugar. What causes hyperthyroidism? We've talked about this. I have a video on YouTube. Go check that. You'll get more information than what I'm going to give you here. What causes bloats in ladies? Several things, yeah. It can be depending on the status of you. For example, if you're pregnant, there's progesterone that usually slow down even during the cycle of your menstrual cycle. There's a point where you have a lot of progesterone, and this is when it really affects the movement of the bowel. So bowel tend to slow down, so you get constipation, you get to have a lot of gas in the stomach, and this is what now is referring to the bloat. Also, during the same period when you're about to get your menses, there is production of a protein that we call, it's not a protein, it's a lipid that we call prostaglandins. And this one usually help in triggering your wall to contract and shed off the wall. So overproduction of the same will make you diarrhea. So, yeah, not so many people with this condition, but you'll find that you have some discomfort during this period, and this is mostly due to overproduction of the same. So the spillover of the prostaglandins to other areas will make you to diarrhea. I have a problem in my womb, not sure whether it's my womb. Something I usually tell people, just go get to see a doctor. So many things can happen. Like for example, you might be having PID, which is pelvic inflammatory disease, which will require treatment at some point. It can be that maybe you have a UTI which is affecting your bladder, so it's something to put in mind. You go see a doctor. And because we answered your first question, you're going to skip this one, and we try to see whether you're going to cover other people. Tupe info kuhusu astral projection. This one, I'll be lying to you. I just have very tiny basic information about it. Maybe the best thing for you to do, there is a Wikipedia page about this one. I think you can just go and see whether you can get some more information about that. Nini huwa inasababisha kung'ana mkono na kusikia kama unadunga dungwa, then mkono inakuwa baridi. Now this one, a little bit interesting, but then your nerves, very important. There's someone who is suggesting arthritis. You can also have that tested. By the way, we've never talked about arthritis in my platform. I'll make a video about that one. Your nerves are very important when it comes to this. They give you this tingling sensation. If you're having this, try to see if you increase the intake for vitamin B12 and vitamin B9 and also iron supplements, whether they're going to help. Now, be very careful about iron supplements. First of all, get to be tested whether you have enough of it, because once you overdose on the same, it can give you a negative effect. So just go get tested for that before you start taking that. Nose bleeding in the morning, we've talked about epistaxis. I think that's covered. Kindly answer this question. Suppose I deworm my cow with a dewormer like albendazole 10% on Monday morning. Then I deworm myself with albendazole 10% on the same Monday. Then I drink milk from the same cow, deworm cow. What's your take on this? Is it necessary to follow the withdrawal time? Yeah, it's very important. There's a reason it's there. But then I think I will forward this question to a vet and try to see whether they're going to give us a more comprehensive answer for this one. One thing I know is once you give your cows any kind of a medication, even if it's a spraying for the ticks, it's important for you to not take the milk for I don't know how many days. It will depend on the drug. For a period of time before that drug is not effective in the body anymore, and then you can just go ahead and start taking that. I don't know, maybe I'll think about it, or maybe I'll just inquire from a vet and then get to give you a comprehensive answer on this one. Can one become pregnant after ovarian cyst removal? Yes. If they were affecting your fertility, once you remove them, your fertility comes back and you're able to get pregnant. You can even become pregnant when you still have the cyst. Autoimmune, I'm suffering from allergies. Now this is different. Autoimmune condition is different from allergies. Autoimmunity is when your own immune cells start fighting your own body cells. And this is usually seen, for example, in something like vitiligo and also in psoriasis. This is your immune cells fighting your own body organs, your body cells. But when it comes to allergies, this is when the immune system, your own immune system, start attacking things which are very normal. Like for example, I would have a pen like this one, just because it's made up of this rubber part here. Once I touch my skin, you start having a reaction. In normal sense, this is not supposed to be harmful, but your body misinterprets that to a pathogen or something that can cause a disease, and you end up having that one. So understanding exactly the cause, that's where you get the way of treating them. Most of the autoimmune conditions are usually hard to treat. Allergies, you can be able to avoid allergens, but when it comes to autoimmune conditions, can be tricky. My question may seem awkward, but let me ask. So my heart beats normal and then abnormal, sometimes low, sometimes too fast. That I sometimes run short of breath. Before even continue, go see a doctor. I have something like sore throat for the past 2 years. I have tried some medication from some local hospital, but it doesn't disappear completely. How can I handle it? Now, this one, the reason, and by there I would want to know how old you are or you look above, because it affects teenagers so much. If you have a sore throat, it can be viral, and this one is very stubborn, because once it's viral, maybe you're using antibiotics to treat it, it'll take forever. It can be fungal, it can be bacterial. So whatever they are using to treat you might be what is not working. And maybe they would think of re-strategizing and using, maybe if they are treating you using an antibiotic, they might start thinking along the lines of using antiviral. But then this will have to come after the test. For example, if it's severe enough, you'll have that indicated in the blood. So getting a test like, for example, full hemogram will give a clue of whether this is a viral infection or a bacterial infection. Can I remove my fibroids first, or I wait till I give birth? I have no baby yet. Please advise. Now, like I said earlier, you can become pregnant when you still have fibroids. It will depend on the size and the effect they're having on your system. If they're affecting your hormones, then I think the best thing will first of all to treat them. If they are big and they're affecting the size and the shape of your uterus, I think first of all removing them will make it even better for you. You have never answered my question. Inbox now. Inbox, my inbox is so chaotic. A lot of DMs per day. I try my best to answer them. There is a time I decided in a month, I'm going to answer all the DMs that I have. So that's what I started doing. But I ended up spending all the time answering the questions, some of which I already have a video on them, to a point where I didn't even get time to make videos. So I decided to only be perusing through them and make videos depending on the most asked questions. But I'm trying to get someone who will be helping me in answering those questions. There are so many. Remember, I have so many people here online. I also have another platform which is on TikTok. A lot of DMs. There are so many. I have comments that I have to observe also on YouTube, and also a place where I'm trying to run away toward is Instagram. This is less crowded, that one. If it's extremely important, you can just go to my Instagram and DM me there. I'll be able to see that. Otherwise, here, I just refresh just only one and I get 100 new DMs. So it becomes even hard for me to track the individual ones. Not to even mention that I have emails that people usually send me emails to, and I also have a number, a WhatsApp number that I have not been able to even attend to because I really need to have a team going through them. And I think, yeah, by the way, I'll think about that. Let's see. But then I don't want to spend a lot of money, and I usually do this for fun. I'll try to see whether I'll get someone who will be helping me in either looking at the DMs and answering them, or maybe if it's something very important so that I don't get to miss something important, they get to forward that to me. Doctor, can a woman give birth through the vagina with a partial placenta previa? Now this one, yes, it can be. It's not advisable because what's happening here is the placenta was able to attach to a place where it's so close to the cervix, so it's partially closing the cervix. So it can be very, let's say, risky when you're giving birth when you have that already, because you risk overbleeding. So what I usually advise someone is you would prefer having to listen to your doctor. If you have a previa, I would advise you to have a CS. It's a better one. Having a CS is actually safer than risking all this because you might overbleed. I had a question. I was hoping you could maybe clarify some things. I read somewhere that we should stop cooking with vegetable oils because they are unhealthy. This may be true, but do we need to completely stop using them, like ile kabisa, or is using in moderation? Anything in moderation. Sugar, moderation. Air, oxygen, moderation. That's another very interesting thing, but they should talk about that sometimes. Water, moderation. But there is no relationship between what they are saying online, and they're just giving you speculations about the seed oils and the vegetable oils. They actually have research, controlled research. Now, I would want you to think from this point, because I have so many people who will come and try to talk on the same. There is a huge debate about how the seed oils are affecting our bodies negatively. So, okay, whom are you going to believe? Someone who's coming with facts or someone who's just coming with rumors? So we have actually independent and well-researched topics on the same, showing that it doesn't even have any inflammatory issues on your body, unless maybe there's something else they're doing to your body, but there's no inflammation from the seed oils or vegetable oils that usually cook with. Unless you're boiling everything, so just use it in moderation. Is using toothpaste harmful to our teeth? No, it's not actually. There is so many research also. We have so many articles that points to good benefits of brushing your teeth using toothpaste. Those who are going to tell you that they're harmful, they're going to be harmful to your health, they're just telling you that they don't have proof. So the best thing that they can do is, if you so feel that toothpaste is harmfully affecting our teeth, do a research. Anybody can do research. Just go do research and come with the findings, and then you publish that, and then something that we can be able to verify again. If you do a research, I come back behind you and do the same research, I'm supposed to get exactly what you got. That's what research is. And stop coming online to look for solutions. Come online to look for information that you can use in making your own decisions, because you're going to be misled if you only come online to look for solutions. Normally, when I finish having a cold bath at night, my body resets for around that minute. We've talked about this. We have urticaria, and also we have aquagenic pruritus. I think the best thing for you to just go and check that video. It contains some very useful information. What are the best supplements to use in USA brands only? Please, I need zinc, vitamin B12, omega-3, probiotics, multivitamin, minerals. Now, if you can get this in food, just go look for food and stop using supplements. I usually don't advocate people using supplements unless your doctor specifically comes and tells you that you need to take something like B12. Mine per inbox, you didn't answer yesterday. Like I said, once I refresh my inbox like this, it takes, I get like 200 DMs. There are so many. I'm working on this. I'll try to see how we can be able to navigate around this, because I need to even see, because I have so many photos, I have so many videos of people inside there. I have so many stories of people talking about what they are feeling, and I need to maybe to pay attention to that and try to see if we can be able to help. So I'll try to see if I can get a team or someone who will just be going through them and on their free time. But then that will require a budget. That will require me getting someone and employing them. Which is something I'm still thinking about. We might end up getting someone anyway. Kindly enlighten us on disadvantages of total hysterectomy at 30 years. This is a video actually I have, not recorded yet, but I have this scheduled somewhere. I'll make a video on this, and just follow me. I hope you gained something, and for those who've been a long-term follower of this platform, thank you. And for those who are new, welcome. And we have a catalog of so many videos. You can just go back and gain more information and gain more value. So I try my best to make sure that every video contains a value aspect when it comes to health. So if you've not followed us, I think it's high time you do, because we are growing, and I'm gathering a team or a group of people who really know how to get scientific information, or they look something for the facts they offer, not from the hearsay they get online. So that's the reason I'm usually here, and I'm trying to make it a habit to come here every Saturday to give you, or to answer most of the questions that I've gotten throughout the week or throughout the DMs and everywhere. And if I don't, I would come here and ask you to ask me directly. The reason I decided to use a comment or like a post is because it's in public. It's usually very hard for me to use what is in the DM, because I love to ask you for the permission of the person, because there's a reason they came to my DM. It becomes a little bit hard. But when I post it here, just on the face of everyone, I can easily make a video out of it, because everyone else can see for themselves. So I'll make it a habit, like I said. So make sure you're here every time to watch a video, and also every time I try to make it daily. Daily there's a video. And I've been doing this for a full year now, and it's become like part of the routine. I feel very good coming in and doing something. So I would want you to support me in this way. One, every video you see, make sure you like it, and you also share to those people who you think will be interested. And also you can just go to my other platforms. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. By the Instagram, I'm growing there. I'm trying to pay a little bit more attention there, because it's not so much crowded, so I can easily be able to navigate through the messages I'm getting there. So if you are here and you're on Instagram, you can follow me there. And also make sure you go to my YouTube and watch the videos, and make sure you like them and share, because that will make the videos that I'm making here to be spread to so many people, which is my joy.